Hey, welcome to Bring It Home, where we take issues of homeland security and national security and try to bring them home to you. We're very pleased to have with us today Paul Hannemann, who is the Director of the Department of Incident Response at the Texas Forest Service, a part of Texas A&M University. Paul, thanks very much for being with us.
Great to be here, Dave.
Well, we're going to have to start by explaining to people what is the Texas Forest Service.
Well, the Texas Forest Service is a very diverse agency. We're a member of the Texas A&M University System, which we were established in 1915. At that time, they put us as we're a small agency, so put it along with a land grant university here at Texas A&M.
And then what is the Forest Service? We're going to talk mostly about incident response issues, but how about describe for us broadly what the Forest Service does?
Great. Texas Forest Service is a statewide agency, predominantly looking at two major areas of emphasis. One, of course, is the forest development side of the house, and that's what most people think when they think Texas Forest Service. And they're involved with landowners, they're involved with various other entities that are focused towards forestry and forest products.
So they do reforestation, they try to keep the forest healthy. And I know some of them recently, I have some friends who are landowners, they've been focused, they've been working with the Forest Service on identifying different types of plants that take less water so they produce less dry grass to feed fires, for example.
That's correct. And I mean, and we vary, you know, from having a forest in West Texas, which is totally unknown, and in fact we have a nursery in Lubbock, Texas, and as well as looking into East Texas, which is what most people think of. That's where the forests of Texas are, but predominantly it's actually statewide.
And a good part of this is academic and research focused.
That's correct. We have linkages to, for example, any of the agricultural side of Texas A&M University and the other universities within the A&M University system in that arena.
And then how much of the state do you cover? I mean, it's a big place, 900 miles by 1,100 miles, 254 counties. How much of that do you touch?
We touch every bit of the state. I mean, 260,000 square miles of the state. And we have linkages to every county, not near the extent with the few people that we have. We're looking at around 370 personnel. So we don't have somebody in every county, but we have linkages to every county.
So they can reach back to you?
That's correct.
Now, you don't do just operations. There's an academic component to this as well. In fact, you're the department head of an academic department.
Well, that's correct. As part of being part of the A&M University system, we have a department within our agency. We have numerous department heads looking at different arenas.
A variety of students?
Well, the student part of it is, again, a lot of it's adult education piece that we look at, and providing that assistance out here in differing areas that we provide. And typically, like we say, landowners is a good example of that when we're looking at the forestry and the forest development part of it. But then we also look at the protection side, which is the other department that we have, and they look at the firefighters and emergency responders throughout the state of Texas.
Well, let's talk about the emergency response and the protection aspect of this for a minute, because, of course, this program focuses on homeland security, national security issues, and this is a key, critical part of the homeland security response for the state of Texas.
Right.
So how about explain to me what you do in the field of incident response?
Okay, be happy to. A couple of things. First off, we are an agency that is part of the Governor's Division of Emergency Management as far as their response entities or agencies. And again, there's like 30 some odd departments or agencies on that Governor's Division of Emergency Management that are focused at whatever the needs are within the state. And typically we're always looking at what disasters are, and there's you know, a multitude of them that you've definitely covered in your...
Well, we're going to get somebody on another program to come talk to us from the DEM, because a lot of people don't understand the enormous reach that the Director of Emergency Management has across the state and the huge resources they have available. Now, explain to us how you fit into that. What is it precisely that you provide?
Well, we provide, number one, is we are the lead agency for fire in the state of Texas. And fire response. We have additional support agencies that tie into us when that need arises, just as we are support to other agencies that are lead. And uniquely within the A&M system, there's two of us that are lead agencies for respective safety items that people should be aware of. I mean, the Texas Engineering Extension Service with the search and rescue mode, and then for us for dealing with fire, and we support them, they support us, and that's a very important role. But additionally, we have, when we talk wildfire, but then any kind of disaster out here, catastrophic event, and we call it all risk today, or all hazard, and we're involved in just about every event or incident that occurs in the state
Well, give me an example of some of those that are, we'll talk about fires in a minute, some of
Sure.
those that are not fire related that you've been involved in.
Well, one of the most unique one, of course, was the Columbia Shuttle incident that occurred February 1st, 2003. We were called upon by the Governor's Division of Emergency Management to go set up incident command in result of that. And again, the uniqueness to the Columbia Shuttle was it was a federal incident that was being managed by state and assisting the feds in managing the incident, which is very unique. Typically,
Covered a huge swath of ground, didn't it?
absolutely. It covered, you know, basically from one side of the state all the way to the other. For example, pieces were found in Levelland, Texas, all the way down across the border in Toledo Bend into Louisiana.
And you were trying to recover parts. That was important to figure out what happened. You were looking for the recovery of remains for the astronauts and their families. And there were also safety issues because a number of those things are just not something we want in the environment or we want people picking up or playing with.
That's correct. And one of the important parts that we learn in the incident management world is developing what those objectives are. And you've covered most of them in regards to, public safety and as well as responder safety is number one. The second one, of course, was the importance that we as Americans recover our remains, and that was a very important and a tragic but a gratifying to the people that were involved in that, the remains of our astronauts. And the third thing was, of course, the recovery of debris from the locations, and that was a big thing to define what exactly occurred. And then the fourth element, of course, was helping local governments get back on their feet because this was so expansive and local government had been involved in it. So that was important we did.
We only have about a little more than 2 minutes left, but let's talk about fire. Wildfire is a huge issue in the state of Texas. We have thousands of cattle lost, millions of dollars damage to buildings, homes lost, and sometimes lives. Now, what do you do to help communities coordinate and respond to wildfires?
Absolutely. What we do is when our responsibility is when it surpasses local government's capability, we come in and assist them in fighting these fires. Typically, I would say we probably respond to 15% of the fires in the state of Texas involving wildfire, but they cover 71% of all the acres burned.
It's a huge expanse.
That's correct. And the part of it, what we bring to the, as we say, to the party is the fact we have bladed equipment, dozers. We also will bring in additional dozers from out of state because we don't have sufficient enough. We also call on our partners like TxDOT and Army National Guard. At the same time, bringing those pieces, managing it, tying in with the local entities and local jurisdictions.
So north of here recently, we had a county that had 5 major wildfires in a county on the same day. They were out of volunteers. So they came to you for coordination. You could send resources of your own and you could find other resources to help share. Is that right?
That is exactly right. We would tap into, like I say, either bringing in the resources from additional partners or calling on mutual aid across the state, which is another element that we help coordinate.
And how many people do all of this for this huge state?
Right now in the Texas Forest Service, about 160 firefighters, and that's about one firefighter for every 1,000 square miles, or even less than that. And so it's a major event. It's a gratifying opportunity, but no doubt we could use more.
Now, some of those are people on the ground, and some of them are people that do coordination, and you also have an operations center, 24-hour operations center to coordinate that.
We do. We have 24/7 if it's needed, emergency operations center here in College Station, and it's operated to assist our personnel that are on the ground. But additionally, one important element they have is predictive services that helps local government in knowing what the conditions are, whether it be for fuel moisture, the fire weather, and ties that all together.
It's a fascinating story about the Texas Fire Service. We're very pleased to have Paul Hannemann with us here, who is the Director of the Department of Incident Response on Bring It Home. Join us for more. We'll bring home the issues of Homeland Security and national security to you.